my videos before, I deal primarily, my calling is the spiritual realm. I have had extensive experience in it personally. Witchcraft attacks, voodoo, sorcery, the works. Not me working it, but it being worked against me. And during the times when I was going through it, I was a church boy. I grew up in church all my life. But what I was experiencing was my first real encounter with the spiritual world. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was going through. Having different moods, anxiety, depression. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. Could never retain nothing, and all of these things came at me. But prior to this, I was very successful. I was living on my own. You know, had my own car, motorcycle. The works, had a good job, saved a couple dollars in the bank. I was doing okay for my age at that time. Uh, I was about 20, what, 20 something, very early 20s. And life was good. Life was good. One who's just starting on their own until I encountered these things with certain people. And that's when I realized that the reality of life is not what we see, but the reality of life is what we don't see. And one of the greatest things about spiritual opposition is their ability to make themselves unknown. And I say that because whenever you decide to describe, explain, or talk about your experiences, because of their uniqueness and remaining in the dark, very few people would believe you, including Christians. All right. So, what I want to start off with tonight is I want to show you, just so we can make the correlation later down, some supernatural things of the Bible. Because you're going to see we're not talking hocus pocus. We are literally discussing the unadulterated word of God, but from a spiritual perspective, not all of the blessing stuff and all. We can get that once we understand the rules. And I think this is where we have went wrong. We went wrong, and why people aren't seeing the manifestations of God power and what they've been told is because they were never presented with a balanced gospel. The gospel that is preached nowadays is prosperity and riches, and you're going to be blessed, and the favor of God is upon you. Speak it, decree it, declaim and claim it, all of that. And nobody ever told you about the impediments, the hurdles, and the immediate opposition that you will face when you decide to take the route that God has etched out for you. See, had someone told us that from the beginning and gave us a balance, then when the opposition came, when the depression came, when the promise didn't come right away, then I was trained that wherever there is good, evil is always present. Romans 7:21. So because I know that, I'm not getting frantic. I'm not trying to call Kevin. I'm not getting a bunch of prayer warriors and intercessors, because this is a part of it. But because you weren't given that, and you were just supposed to focus on the blessing, the house, the car, the marriage, the baby, then all you see is all I want to see is baby, house, car. And once I don't see that, but everything opposite is coming, then of course, what those leaders didn't know is that they were assisting Satan in frustrating and disabling you from your belief of the word of God. So our messages, while we're trying to motivate, inspire, and encourage, we have to be balanced. Because when you're not balanced, you're sending people out there to be an open target. And they need something to negotiate or at minimum fight with, so that even when the hard times come, I expect this because Kevin said, whenever we go on a fast, expect things to get worse before they get better. So now that I'm off the fast, when things get worse, I'm not sure Kevin said exactly what he said was going to happen, but he also said, keep pressing forward, keep fasting, keep praying, keep believing, keep declaring. He gave us a balanced gospel. Those who didn't hear what